Yo, I feel like going. I feel like going.
Hey, this is Coach Lawrence back with another episode. Counting the blessings that you took in 15 minutes out of your day to listen to my content. And I'm really excited about part 3 of a series we're doing. But before we get to that, make sure you hit the subscribe button, folks, and click all notifications so you can get all of my new content. I'm kind of shifting from the secular content to more of a spiritually based content. And I want you to get all the content, and make sure you hit the like button at the base of the video. It helps to promote the video, and more people get a chance to see it. Now, today we are talking about part 3 of our series that we're doing, Conquering Bad Behavior and Deliverance Through Discipline. And today we're talking about backbiting. Yes, backbiting, talking about people, gossiping. So before we get started, let's start with the definition of backbiting. Now, backbiting means to attack the character or reputation of a person who is not present. And there is an interesting study done that shows that people generally gossip about 52 minutes out of a 16-hour day, and that men and women tend to gossip about the same time or at the same level. So imagine that we're spending 52 minutes of our day saying bad things and gossiping about other people. Now, today we're going to continue our examination or exegesis, which means we take apart something, of Colossians 3 and 8. But now ye also put off all these. And we talked about anger. And last time we talked about filthy communication. Today we're talking about the word blasphemy. Yes, blasphemy. Now, we said before that the word renounce means to refuse to follow, obey, or recognize any further. Now, the word renounce is the Greek word for put off. So the word put off in Greek also means to lay off or to lay down. It means to stop the activity. But there's a different word that also means to put off, and it's the word or the phrase to stow away. Now, if I had this sweater and I folded it up nice and neat, and then I took this sweater and put it in a drawer, and then I closed the drawer, that sweater would be stowed away, right? So when we talk about renouncing or putting off something, we're saying that, number one, we refuse to obey, refuse to follow, refuse to recognize it. And then now we stop the behavior. And then after we stop the behavior, we take it and we put it away. Now, at the base definition of the word blasphemy, that's the word we're looking at today, and we're going to try to do under 15 minutes. The word blasphemy that's in Colossians 3:8. Remember, we're looking at Colossians 3:8. But now ye also renounce, put off, or stow away all these. And today we're looking at the word blasphemy. Now, at the base of the word blasphemy, it means sluggish, stupid, and injurious speech. When you injure something, it causes trauma. But what this basically means is that speech that causes others trauma. Okay. Now, to be more specific, in Colossians 3:8, the word blasphemy simply means slanderer. It's a slanderer. It also means to rail against or speak evil of someone. It is the worst type of verbal abuse. It denotes that we bear false witness against somebody, and we purposely wound their reputation through evil reports and evil speaking. This is intentional. This type of speech, of slander, is intentional. Maybe this person has done something to us. Maybe we don't like this person. Maybe we don't like their stance. Maybe we don't like their beliefs. So we take the opportunity to speak evil or slander their name, or slander their reputation, or slander their character. Now, the first point we want to make, and we're going to try to make 1 to 3 points today, is that we shall give an account for every idle word that we have spoken. And this is the first reason why we have to renounce, put off, and stow away slander or gossip or backbiting, because the Bible says in Matthew 12:36, we shall give an account for every idle word that we have spoken. Let's read that. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. Now that we know that, that gives us the motivation to put aside, renounce, and to stow away slander. Now, there's three words in the definition of blasphemy that defines the word blasphemy in Colossians 3:8. Those three words are slanderer, railing against, and to bear false witness. Now, slanderer in the Greek means diabolos, where we get the word diabolic. Is slanderous or accusing falsely. It referenced those who have been given to finding fault with the demeanor and conduct of others, and then spreading rumors and criticisms about them, even in the church. So because you don't like somebody, or you don't agree with their belief, or you don't agree with their stances, or you just don't like this person, you begin to spread false rumors about that person that damages their reputation and character with other people. Now, 1 Timothy 3:11 says, even so must their wives be grave, not slanderers, sober, faithful in all things. 2 Timothy 3:3, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinents, fierce, despisers of those who are good. Titus 2:3, the aged women likewise, that ye be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers. So we're looking at the word slanderer, somebody who is a false accuser, somebody who is spreading rumors and gossiping about other people, and that causes trauma or damage to their reputation and character. And we know that the Bible says we shall give an account for every word, idle word we have spoken. Now, the second word that defines the word blasphemy in Colossians 3:8 is the word railings. Right? Railings. And it means exactly what it says, to make railings against someone. Rail. Right? Let's look at Matthew 15:19. For out of the heart proceedeth evil thoughts, murderers, adultery, right? Fornication, thefts, false witness, and blasphemy. So the word blasphemy also can mean to rail against. Right? To lob accusations at. So when I think about railing, I think about lobbing accusations at a person or about a person. Stuff that you may or may not know to be true. You don't know this to be a fact, but yet you're making accusations about people. You're saying things about from the outside looking in about their situation that you don't know to be true or not to be true. But yet you're railing accusations against that person. 1 Timothy 6:4, he is proud, knowing nothing, but doubting about with questions and strife of words, whereof cometh envy, strifes, and railings, and evil surmisings. So I'm making railings, accusations is what I think of. So the second point there, or point 2a, that was point 2. That was the first point. The second point is 2a, and that point is that what we say out of our mouth is a reflection of the condition of our hearts. So we said the first point was we shall give account for every evil word or idle word that comes out of our mouth. And the second point is that what we say out of our mouth is an indication of our heart. This is why the second reason why we have to renounce, put off, or lay aside, or stow away slander, because what comes out of our mouth is generally a reflection of what's in our heart. Right? So we're looking at Colossians 3:8 today, and we're talking about how do we put off, renounce, lay off, or store away blasphemy. And we said the word blasphemy in Colossians 3:8 means to slander. And we're talking about the 3 points of things that mean blasphemy in Colossians 3:8. And those are slanderer, railings, and bearing false witness. So the second point that we want to make here is that what we say out of our mouth is a reflection of the condition of our heart. Luke 6:45 says, a good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good. And an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh. So we know that what we say has a direct connection to the condition of our hearts. Now, if I have a mouth problem, I generally have a heart problem, and your heart is your mind and spirit. Psalms 51:10. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew in me a right spirit within me. So when we have when we have a clean heart, when we have a renewed or right spirit, then we don't say these things out of our mouth. So at the base of any gossiping and slandering, right, is a person who has a heart issue. See, the slandering and the gossip and the backbiting is only a symptom of a heart problem, a mind problem, a spirit problem. So in order to get to the root of the gossiping, of the slandering, of the backbiting, we've got to look at our hearts and say, God created me a clean heart and renewing me a right spirit. Because if I have the right spirit, I'm not going to gossip and slander somebody else's reputation. Now, the right mindset, right? We talked about renewing me a right spirit, right? And the right mindset is to acknowledge that God has condemned slander and that we should stop gossiping and backbiting and talking about people. But many times, especially in the church, we hide or justify slander because we tell ourselves, well, I'm just telling the truth. You know, somebody confides in you about a relationship issue they got. Somebody confides in you. Maybe it's even in the church, maybe to a minister. And they confide in you something that is secret to them, something that is important to them. And as soon as the person turns around, you already going to talk to other people about what they said. You know, you ever had a friend, you know, that you told something to, and then, you know, you both of y'all knew another friend, and then that person called you and told you what your friend told, what you told your friend. So this is an example of people who are gossiping and slandering. And they say, well, because I'm telling the truth, it's okay. But we cannot just say, just because we're telling the truth, it's okay to gossip and slander and backbite people. Ephesians 4:15 says, but speaking the truth in love may grow up unto him in all things, which is the head, even Christ. So even though we're speaking the truth about a person's given situation, are we at the 13-minute mark? Just because we're speaking the truth about a person's situation doesn't mean we have to gossip about them. Because the Bible tells us to speak the truth in love. And I can't say that I'm loving somebody when I'm damaging their reputation, when I'm damaging their character, when I'm ruining them in the eyes of people that they know. Right? And that happens sometimes when, you have people, for example, who they always tell their own business. And so when you tell them something, they tell your business too. And they say, well, you know, I'm just being honest. Just because you know something doesn't mean you have to say it. The Bible says in Proverbs 29:11, a fool uttereth all his mind. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it till afterwards. So I don't have to say everything that's on my mind. And the final word that we're looking at, as we're talking about Colossians 3:8, how we renounce, put off, or store away blasphemy. And we said that blasphemy means, it means slander, right? And we said there's 3 words that make up the word slander in Colossians 3:8. That is, we're talking about slanderer, we talk about railing, and we talk about bearing false witness. Now, let's look at the last word, bearing false witness. Now, if you're a witness, that means you're a person who gives testimony, right? That's what a witness is. And when you talk about false, you talk about anything that's not true. So when you put it together, false witness, you're talking about a person who is giving false testimony. So when we are slandering somebody, we are giving false testimony. And when we're talking about people, we may not know the whole truth. We only know part of the truth. We may not know the background of the story. We may not know what they're dealing with. We don't know what all of the situation that's going on. And we're telling falsehoods and talking about people to other people because we're gossiping and we're backbiting and we're slandering them. Now, let's look at some reference verses. Proverbs 19:5 says, a false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. Proverbs 6:19 says, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among the brethren. So false witnesses are people who tell lies. People who tell half-truths, people who don't know the whole story, but they're running their mouth and saying things that they don't really know to be factual. And as a result, they cause trauma to the reputation and the character of other people. Now, right before we close, we're a little bit over time. Let's look at three key points about gossip. Now, gossip differs from human tendencies to talk about other people, and that gossip focuses on negative information. Have you ever known that? When somebody's gossiping, they usually are talking about what's negative about that person or what's negative in their situation. Most of the time, people rarely want to say something good about other people, but they're always focusing on the negative information. Secondly, gossip gives people a sense of power. Research demonstrates that gossip is emotionally rewarding. So people get power and get emotional satisfaction from gossiping, backbiting, and talking about people, specifically people that they don't like, people that they don't understand, and people that they don't agree with. So they talk about them, slander their name, hurt their reputation, hurt their character, all because they don't like them, don't agree with them, don't understand them, and don't necessarily know what's going on. And finally, most people agree saying negative things about others is okay, but we don't want people to say any negative things about us. My mother always says, treat people how you want to be treated. So if you don't want people gossiping about you, slandering you, backbiting you, then you should not slander and backbite other people. Now, let's recap very quickly because we're over time. Today, we're talking about backbiting. We define backbiting as attacking the character or reputation of somebody who is not present. We said that a recent study showed that 52 minutes of the day people spend gossiping, and that's out of a 16-hour day. We looked at Colossians 3:8 that talked about, but now ye should also put off, renounce, lay off, lay down, or stow away. And we looked at the word blasphemy, and the word blasphemy means slanderer. We said that in Colossians, the base definition of blasphemy means sluggish, stupid, or injurious speech. We said that injurious speech means speech that causes other people trauma. And then we said more specifically that in Colossians 3:8, we're talking about blasphemy as the word slanderer. And there's three components of slander, that is slanderer, railing against, and bearing false witness. So we looked at the scriptures that talked about slanderer, railing, and false witness. And then we said there's three key points about gossiping, and that is that people generally like to focus on negative information, that gossip gives people a sense of power and is emotionally rewarding, and that finally that although people like to say negative things about others, they don't want people saying negative things about them. I hope this was a blessing to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. God bless.